Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Safety Systems. You know what a great gift would be this holiday season? Telling somebody on Christmas that you've scheduled Safety Systems to come in and help you build a state-of-the-art home theater room. Now, sports fan or movie buff in your home would be blown away. That is life-altering stuff right there to get a Safety Systems home theater system put in your home. Call VFL JJ Surlis and ask about their home theater design work. That's something you could look forward to in 2022, and you could be the guy that actually announces it there on Christmas morning. Safety Systems, they do great work, not just security systems, but their entertainment stuff is fantastic. SafetySystems.com. Okay, just a quick segment here where we run through some of the key plays, calls, and decisions from last night's game. Number one, Jalen Hyatt is very lucky today, I think. Caught a pass, stumbled, no one touched him, and stepped out of bounds. It would have been a touchdown. As it turns out, on the very next play, Tennessee fumbles, and so instead of being up 21-7, Kentucky drives down, makes it 14-14, gets the crowd back into it. I marked that down as this could be one where you look back and say this is where we lost it. We had a touchdown, we stepped out of bounds. But I had a bigger problem. Stuff happens. Kids stumble. That's the game. Josh Heupel, though, stayed in the hurry-up mode there. Refs didn't even have a chance. I went back, froze it, looked. It did look like his foot touched the sideline. But I was sitting there thinking, why are you – hit the brakes here. See if the refs don't give you one. Let them replay this, if nothing else. I had a problem with Heupel staying in the speed-up mode right there. Did anybody else, or am I just being negative?
I noticed, I said the same thing. You know, that is one time where you want to slow down just a little bit and give somebody a chance to look and make sure. The official along the sideline was very certain because, I mean, wasn't he like pointing right where it was?
And it was Tennessee sideline, so they probably saw it.
So, but still, there's sometimes I think you got to play the odds a little bit and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree with John. Not you. Keep taking my money. Yeah. But no, I thought so too. I think there are times when he gets in too much of a hurry up. I thought at the end of the half he did a little bit of that. I thought he could have milked some clock so Kentucky doesn't get the ball back in the first half. Yeah. But yeah, I thought I would have, because I'm looking for the replay to see did he actually go out of bounds, and I'm trying to look at it, and they're snapping the ball.
Yeah.
I'd have slow played that one.
Agreed.
All right, 20 seconds to go in the third quarter. Vols have it 4th and 9 at Kentucky's 37. Heupel decides to go for it. Ball hits the turf. Vols turn it over on downs. Any issues with him going for it? 4th and 8, 4th and 9 there at 37.
I really didn't.
No.
I didn't have any issues with that right there. I just kind of think you're
too far to kick and too close to punt.
And the way your offense had been able to get the big chunk plays, I did not have a problem with it.
Sterling, you didn't have an issue?
I didn't have any problem with it. I mean, you had an offense that was kicking down 15 yards, chunk play every pass per pass attempt. I mean, you know, Kentucky was on their heels. We had them there. It just didn't work out that time, but we won the game.
And he kind of called it no man's land, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so if the play works, it looks good. If it doesn't, then you say, well, I don't know for sure.
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, if you punt it, you're probably going into the end zone, which means 17 yards is what you gave up by going for it. They got the 37.
And they always point out the next play, well, they got it back in one play, so
right. I had no problem with that one. Kentucky's last drive, there were a lot of points on this one. First, I thought Kentucky milked the clock. They looked a little too nonchalant. I was sitting there thinking, yes, Tennessee's defense is shoddy tonight, really bad. You still aren't the type of offense that can just, we'll score here in a minute, let's milk some clock. I thought they looked a little lackadaisical and burned maybe a minute more than they should have, and it came back to bite them, in my opinion.
And in their coach's opinion, too, I read it this morning, they said the exact same thing, that maybe they should have played that differently. Yeah, maybe you should.
Everybody agreed they maybe got a little lackadaisical, or no?
Yeah, I'd have gone faster in that situation and give myself more of an opportunity there. But
especially if you make a mistake. I mean, they're just things. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I don't. I think they played it, had I been head coach in that situation, I would have played it that way because I'm in a situation I need a touchdown to win or a field goal to tie and go to overtime. So I want to make sure I'm executing my play calls to my scouting report as best of my ability, put my players in a position to win. And that's what they did, and fortunately, we won that chess game.
Yeah, I think they were also concerned about not giving the ball back to Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that played into it. And then if you
But-
make up a decision, you're going to go for it on fourth down. If you're Kentucky, do you have a better chance running it twice
I understand
or
that,
throwing
but
it?
you're behind.
Yeah, I think
You
they
know,
just.
worry about Tennessee when you're ahead.
I think they milked it a little too much. That offense isn't good enough to milk
Yeah,
it,
well.
even against Tennessee's bad defense. Quarterback Will Levis has his face mask grabbed on a third down play. Would have been 4th and 9 from Kentucky's 49 with a minute to play. Instead, Mark Stoops protests and gets flagged for unsportsmanlike, so it goes all the way back further than that. First of all, that's a face mask, wasn't it?
It was.
Yes, it was definitely.
Okay,
fake.
so let's. All I ever hear is the refs never give us a break. Yeah, you got one last night. The refs giveth and the refs taketh away. It all comes out in the wash. It's why I don't cry about refs. So it was a face mask penalty. If they'd gotten that, that would have been 1st and 10 for Kentucky at Tennessee's 36. Instead, it was 4th and 24 from their own 34. And they still got it. Reactions to the fact that you gave up a 4th and 24. And Josh Heupel said it was a blown coverage. You did have a guy standing basically by himself over at the sticks. Thoughts on giving that up?
I thought Tennessee's defense looked like it was aligned for a last play of the game kind of Hail Mary thing. I thought you were giving up too much before the ball was ever snapped. You were conceding things. So, no, I thought their defensive alignment, from what you could see on television, did not look good from the start.
It was terrible. You got 8 in coverage and you leave a guy wide open.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious. I like the defense done a lot of good things this year, but boy, that play right there was abysmal, I thought.
I thought last night, too, was the first time you'd seen some confusion in Tennessee's
I agree.
players.
Credit Heupel, though, he did just talk about we had a busted coverage. He didn't do the Jeremy Pruitt call out the guy who did it. Chuck and Sterling, your thoughts on giving up a 4th and 24? Look, it's football. We've all seen stuff like that happen. But that was like the icing on a bad night cake for the Tennessee defense.
Well, I'm going to put it like that. This is when the Tennessee, or well, not Tennessee, well, the universal football guys came into play from actually punishing the refs for missing the call, and then I think was making a bad call on the Kentucky head coach for giving unsportsmanlike conduct. You missed the call, play football, keep your football mind state sometime, because you're not perfect. Just move to the sideline and don't give them unsportsmanlike conduct. That's what that was. The ball never lies. I've heard that in other sports, and this time it happened here.
Yeah, 4th and 24. I was sitting there hoping that they'd mark the Kentucky player about a foot short so we could see how the Kentucky fans would have reacted. but seriously, at some point, don't you think grabbing a face mask, especially it affects the play, making a tackle, shouldn't that be reviewable at some point? Even if it's just one chance
I
during
think
the
a
game.
face mask should be reviewed.
I think it should be, and I think that's
If
really.
you're going to replay
was-
everything, which is kind of where we're headed, then that's one that's pretty obvious. You can see if it is or it isn't.
Exactly.
And last thing, don't shotgun snap when you're kneeling down to kill the clock.
Twice.
Terrible.
3 times.
Horrible.
Was it 3
We
times?
got to catch a break. We're over again. Okay. Caught up, and now we've blown it. All right. We still have a ton more to come, including Tennessee's matchup with Georgia, #1 Georgia next week. But next, let's talk about the end of UT's investigation into Jeremy Pruitt and Tennessee deciding not to self-impose a bowl ban. Come on back.